the maiden press conference for the head coach of the female national team as we prepare for the upcoming AFCON qualifiers, that is the Women's Africa Cup of Nations. And of course, the Gambia is paired against Namibia in a double header. The first leg will be the 21st, while the second leg will take place on the 24th. Coach, Mr. Yaya Mane, as he prepares to unveil his final list of players that are due to travel to the Kingdom of Morocco, given his this due coverage, of course, and of course the staffs of the Gambia Football Federation and my colleagues from the communications department. And Mr.
My greetings to the members of the media fraternity who are present here in this press conference. To start with, from the process of my appointment as the head coach of the female national team, started when there was a publication for a vacancy at that position. So then I made the application, then it went through a very vigorous process. Then eventually I was called to get to a meeting with the technical director and the second vice president. After the meeting, then I was eventually unveiled as the head coach of the female national team with my technical staff members. So we started training with a number of 25 players, but before that we are able to establish a number of 36 local-based players from the Gambia here. And we had the first phase with 25 players. From there on, there was a number which was dropped to enable the other remaining players to come on board. That the first phase started from the 21st to the 24th of August. The second phase is where we had the remainder of the local-based players and the players who are playing their route in Senegal. So we had them all on board for 2 weeks, and today is the end of the third week of intensive training. Then we able to make some technical decisions in relation to which players are presently fit or capable to represent the Gambia in the upcoming qualifiers against Namibia, which is to be played in Morocco.
Mm-hmm. Now tell us before you do the unveiling, how impressed or otherwise you are with your team and the preparations that you have done so far.
Yeah, the impressions has been so massive. From the first week I started the session with these ladies, to be honest, I was so impressed. Until today, I'm so impressed. So left to me alone, I wouldn't have left any one of them out because of the quality and the potential that I saw in them. But notwithstanding, there are other aspects that they need to firmly develop on which we have worked along the way. So one thing so much pleasing about these ladies are they are easily able to understand the concept or the philosophy of the coach. It's not been long, 4 weeks together, but how much they gel into the concept of play as in line with the national team ethics from the technical department, I think was very much okay with me. So the other part which is left now is for the players who are going to be selected to go out there and represent everybody well for the double header.
Now talk us through Namibia, and of course, any idea about the team, and how do you think you will approach this double fixture?
Yeah, the Namibians have been doing some scouting on their team for almost 3 weeks now. Though they don't have a lot of footages outside of their present matches in 2023. So all the footages you can find is mostly in 2020. From what I've been able to gather from there is like we have similar characters, so like our national team players. So but again, the quality that I saw in our ladies here, better than the Namibians, is probably the speed of play. So that's why for the past 2 weeks also we've been firmly working on the speed of play. But again, there is a continuity to help us to get where we want to be.
Finally, how helpful is the GFF in terms of what you...
The president of the federation said he cannot come back to Gambia until he is able to sort out the issue of the female national team. which speaks massive volume for any athlete. So we really absolutely are very much indebted with the support they are giving to the team. And now it is our turn as technicians and the players also to be able to give them that respectable, outstanding performance that they expect from their investment.
Thank you. Now we go to what we've all been waiting for, and that each and every one of them deserve, to be part of the final list. But unfortunately, there is a number that is
to go into, because having contact with players, now you get to know each other, but again, this is what our job also demands, that at times you have to let go some certain players and continue in Turkey. From the Gambia here, we to travel with only 16 players, from 17 players from the Gambia here. Casa Sports FC in Senegal. And the centre backs, they are in defenders. We have Mariama Bojang from Red Scorpions in the Gambia, Rogi Diouf from Determined FC. In the midfielders, we have Kadi Jata from Red Scorpions, Meta Sane from Police, Aissatou Diallo from Bayelsa Queens in Nigeria, Kumba Gassama from Berewulamin Girls FC in Liberia, and Fatou Songo from Japo Olympique de Guédiawaye in Senegal. That's a 24-man squad.
Thank you. Quite impressive. And of course, now what are we going to do? Now, anyone that has a question or two to ask, we can, of course, allow the coach to.
Are you satisfied with the Yeah, to be honest, I think some of these tasks are meant to test you as a coach. So we will go for it. What we've achieved so far with them, I think, is quite very impressive. Very well, but I can assure you, this lot of group of players I've called here are ready for any battle. When did you set travel? That was on the administrative aspect.
Looking at this team, and after watching them play the test game yesterday, and also hearing from you, you made mention of a very important aspect. That is,
execute those type of things is the massive thing for us. So we've been engaging them moreover on those type of approaches. How can they change their attitudes? Because when we just
how do you came about tracking this girl to come play for the Gambia?
Yeah, I get to know this this player from my second assistant coach, that's Omar Champ. He just gave me and what I found out in the player was a bit massive, a bit different, because I get to know more about the player. Moreover, when I start to watch onto her works, was quite very much amazed. Then from there on, she was able to send me a lot of her videos, which I was able to make some good analysis about her as a player. Going forward, I think she can be a very good element. And going forward, because with those type of mentalities, when we have them within the local based players, it's gonna inject into them a very positive way that we also have a career ahead. Think of a Gambian lady player playing in the Turkish Premier League. So which to me will also serve as a motivation for our local based players over here. With her performance, personal character also, to be honest, I'm also impressed with her.
Rebuilding and receiving were two important goals when we were giving the responsibility of this women's national team. And watching the training sessions and watching the test game yesterday, you're absolutely on track when it comes to the receive. We've seen so many young players. Elizabeth scoring 33 goals in the women's league. We've seen Fatou Songo, another prolific goal scorer, Catherine Jata as well, another prolific goal scorer, and notably good midfielders and good defenders as well. Ude has been a brilliant defender for Greater Tomorrow. Kumba Kasama, one of the best midfielders when it comes to the league here. But importantly, leadership is key. Have you already identified a captain who will lead this team?
No, to be honest, no. No. Because I think to make a fair decision, you got to allow to see all the players in their face. Then you can make a very honest opinion. What I saw within the players here, I can just say jump and say seize the captain, but that's not going to be fair to players who are outside. You need to see them all in their face. You know, in coaching, there are qualities that you look onto a leader, a captain, because adapt with their the sense of humor. I think is very much important in this aspect. But again, who amongst them can take the leadership role, mantle of leadership effectively for that matter. So I have to decide who is going to be the captain until and unless I'm able to see them all and able to make a clear conclusion from there on. I know there are other players in the midst who were previous captains. I engaged them, I spoke with them very well. But to be honest, I made it clear to them that yes, you were the captain before, but again, we will see whether you're going to continue or not. So, but to make and I can make that decision out.
Coach, I have a question. Thank you very much and congratulations for reaching this far. My question partly is answered, but I'm sure you can delve further as proven by Andrew. The local players that you put finally in this squad, you have physically been with them. I want to ask about the mechanism or the barometer that you used. What mechanism did you use to have them included in the final list?
When I took over, it's like I had a meeting with my technical staff outside. From the outside players, I was constantly talking with their coaches outside, how much are they performing also. But again, in relation to how much I want them to play.
The status that to some extent you have changed.
This is this test game, that is what I was buttressing to them, that as a national team player, you need to show a character of a national team player. So it's no more about club affairs now, it's about a national team. So seeing you playing for your clubs and seeing you to represent the national team shall be of different characters. So firstly, it's about their attitude towards a group, which now has come into the social aspect of the game. They've done well in this short duration of time, because in football it isn't only about getting them the session to go and play, but again, how often do you speak to them, how often do you counsel them, which has been a very key role for me in this aspect. I will let Mariama and Omar do some of the physical training, but personally I will call some of them aside to engage them, to talk to them about their, because when you talk to them as a coach, you try to prepare them mentally that this is also part of the game. Because basically, players are built under four components. That is the technical, the physical, the psychological, and the social. So when Mariam and Omar focus more on the physical and the technical, I take more of the psychological and the social aspect of it. To be honest, it's quite positive. It's quite positive from what I've been seeing.
Congratulations, coach, to the technical staff. When it comes to reshaping, I can fully say evidence some of the changes that we have seen in the senior team. Because yesterday, before they start the pre-match preparation, we hear you telling them, go on undress, change your dress. For the last 5 players, you're going to part of my team, and you see the eagerness of these young ladies wanting to be part of the team, running to the dressing room. But away from that, because I want to say thank you and congratulations to the staff and wish you best of luck against Namibia. Well, I might be privy to the question I want to ask, but for the sake of the general public, can you please dwell on the reason why Ola is not part of the squad?
With Ola, we've made consultation with all the players basically outside. So we've sent an invitation to their club. So eventually they replied back saying Ola had applied for a residential permit in China. So the document is not yet out. So they can release the player to come and play. But before she goes back, it has to take another 3 months again for the visa process before she is able to go back. To us, I think it would be very much fair at some point to look into the interest of the player also. So if he keep on playing there, in the future, he's going to be much beneficial to us. So from there on, we're able to make a conclusive mind that focus on to get our residential permits. When we cross this line, then the next thing is how to help the player achieve her goals, but notwithstanding also how can he get CJ better along the way. So that's the issue which all
wrap up. I want you to take us through this Player of the Day initiative that you brought into the training ground. Tell us a bit about it, because their commitment, their determination, and their willingness to keep trying.
Ibrahim, you see, in football, there are some of the smallest things that we don't put into contention. But when I took up this initiative of having the Player of the Day, it's based on to show them that at the end of the day, there must only be one winner. So when I asked them who's going to be the winner, they said it's going to be Gambia. So but I say also, I have to let them understand also, every day before we leave this pitch here, we must have another Player of the Day who's going to be the winner. So you can see from when we started until 30 of competition, the winning mentality in them, without not giving them much. But again, these small things, putting them into the psychological and social aspect of their thinking was very much impressive. I think the biggest winner there was Khadija. Yeah, that lady is absolutely on top of her game, and I wish her all the best in her future endeavors.
Now, finally, you know, your final message.
Yes, of the players, thank all their prospects, because they've worked very well with these players at their club level, that is able to get them to the national team. To the general population, I think we also need to give more attention. Also,
much colleagues from the press, and thank you so much, those of you at home, at your workplaces, you know, watching us wherever you might be. We are grateful, and like the coach said, as Gambians, we come together, pray for the team to make sure that you know, the female team also qualify for the AFCON. That is going to be massive, and we are very hopeful with the coach, and